Hello and welcome to another review. In this episode, we're going to be reviewing the first comic issue of DarkStalkers Morrigan. Is it Morrigan?
Yeah, I think it is called Morrigan.
Oh, okay. Anyways, I recently got this comic. To be honest, this is actually the first comic that I got. Most of the time it's been a manga or something. But recently, while I haven't been into buying mangas or even comics, I've been going through most of my uncle's comics and I started to get intrigued, including with manga, to start reading some stuff and start reviewing them. When I saw that this was going on sale, I decided to buy it. So what do I think of this first issue? Well, a little brief history, I would say. DarkStalkers is actually a video game or fighting video game series which I have not played. I played as Morrigan mostly on Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Maybe a little bit in the second one. And on top of that, she's in Muggin, so ha! But I always found her character interesting, and no, not for that reason. And yeah, there was some pretty cool look to her as well. And now there is a comic book, even though there's been mangas and other stuff released of her story in the Darksider universe. It is time to dive into this particular comic. Let us proceed.
Arturo, have you seen Glow number 1?
I don't know where clone number 1 is.
Didn't you see him earlier?
How should I know?
I thought you knew where he was.
If he went... Okay. Did he go into this comic?
It's quite possible he went into that comic.
Well, then you're going to have to go get him then. Because I got to review this thing, okay? I'm on a deadline.
Come on, why am I always the one that has to get them out of
Look, clone number 2, don't argue. Just go get the idiot. Now, I'm not fully going to dive into the plot too much because, let's be real, comics aren't as long. I'll just say, the very beginning, there's a guy that has a specific thing that brings this doll to life or something. Morrigan takes this thing away from the guy because it actually belongs to her, kills the guy, leaves our world and goes back to hers, but that doll ends up following her. Kind of reminds me of this particular film that I found out about where the toys end up going after this hitman that killed their maker. That was the gist I was getting out of this comic. Anyway, she's dealing with a lot of economic stuff, businesses, you know, that sort of real life business look, jobs, the economy, stuff like that. And she's just pretty much tired of it. She'd rather be free from all that. But as a ruler of this world, she has to be responsible, and then some stuff starts to happen, which is connected to the doll. She also has Lilith, that is part of her as well, because they're both in one body. Look, I am fairly new to the whole Darksider stuff, so most of this stuff is kind of new to me. I just know that they were together in a body. Okay, anyways, moving on. Yeah, overall, I don't want to give too much of the synopsis, but that's the gist of the story. There are points where they actually advise read the Darksider vs. Street Fighter comic. I guess there's a connection between this and that? I don't know. Obviously, what I like about this comic is the art design, art style. The colors are so good. The action scenes are also well done. So yeah, there's really not much to complain about. I actually really like how it was drawn. The characters are also drawn really well. It's got that sort of anime style to it, which I really like. It's kind of like a semi-cutesy sort of look, even though it's also gothic at the same time. But yeah, I really like the art style in this comic. It's really good. The colors are also really good, and I'm not going to repeat myself. I'm being redundant. Just everything about it is really good. I just gotta say. And what's cool is that at the very end, there's some fan arts and covers, alternate covers. I pretty much went with this cover art because it fit the rest of the comic. Even though there is different ones to choose from, I just like this one better. But yeah, by day's end, this comic book is actually pretty good for the first issue. There's probably gonna be more, I assume. Everything about it is nice. The colors are pretty. Character designs are nice. I just like this whole story concept, and Morrigan is a badass, I would say. If you like the Darksider series, you will like this comic. Since I haven't personally played any of the games, I've played Morrigan in specific other games like Marvel vs. Capcom, I was familiar with her. And so I was interested to get this. And it's also Capcom. I mean, come on. And the Street Fighter comics are also really good too, since I have at least 3 issues, even though they're not in order. Even those are really good as well. The Capcom comics are so good, so well detailed. It's very nice, and this is one of them, for a new one that is. It actually makes me want to get into the Darksider universe a bit more, since it has to do with the whole gothic monsters, vampires, zombies, or what have you. It's pretty interesting. Anyways, as for my verdicts, I would say, yeah, definitely get it. It's a decent read for what it is. Morrigan is, an interesting character. I did watch a video about Morrigan explaining the whole Lilith sort of deal, which gave me some insight. It's pretty much right here. I'll put a link in the description. But at least enough to get the depth of these characters, and it's pretty interesting. While I'm not too familiar with it, I enjoyed reading it. It was quick though, and you could just read through a comic pretty fast. Man, why are comics so expensive? Anyways, I would say if you're into Darkstalkers, grab it. But if you're not too familiar with it, you may still have some fun with it, even though you're not into that whole universe. To me, I personally enjoyed it for what it is. A fun read, I guess you could say for my verdict. A fun read. Because boy almighty, I like the colors in this book and the art design. So good. It's got that anime feel, which I like. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this review episode. If you like what you saw here, please follow me wherever you're watching. And on top of that, if you want to, check out more comic or manga reviews, you're in the right place. And also, just let me know what you guys think. There's a lot of comics that I have. I got a lot of old comics that I will definitely be checking out. And in manga as well. However, it will be more of a quick review on specific mangas, because if there's an anime, then I'm just going to review the anime, but at least get people into the manga. Either if it's the first volume or the last volume or what have you. Anyways, peace.
My, who do we have here? Who indeed?
Hello. I'm looking for someone of importance because I just came to from another world, and I came into this world, and I was very interested to talk to a specific so-and-so of importance.
Grows. I'm assuming you're here to see us. Importance, you say? You look cute. You'd look more cute without those glasses.
What? Yeah, the someone of importance is not really you two. You guys got really ugly horns. I'm looking for somebody called Dracula. I really would want to speak to him. He's like my #1 fan. I'm not here to talk to you two. Those horns are very ugly.
You should know your manners, boy. I bet it's time to teach him a lesson for insulting us, Lilith. Don't be too hard on him, Morrigan.
Wait, what? What are you gonna do?
Dang it. I'm coming, clone #1. I am not saving you next time.
But I just wanted to see Dracula. I didn't realize I went into some sort of comic book that was based off of a video game. I'm sorry.
I hope you guys enjoyed this review episode. I really want to give a big shout out to Keiko from MLA Entertainment, who provided the voice for Morrigan and Lilith. Big shout out to her. I would definitely check her channel out. She's really talented. Or her show, her web show on MLA Entertainment.